So the top 5 herbs for a traditional martial artist. Let's get right into it. So the first herb is pine pollen. Pine pollen and its relevance to a martial artist. A little information about Jing. Jing is one of the 3 treasures in traditional martial arts, traditional Chinese medicine. Jing is your essence. Okay, it is considered the foundation of life. It is stored in the kidneys. It represents your primal energy from birth handed down from your parents, so it is genetic based. Pine pollen has over 200 bioactive natural nutrients, minerals, and vitamins. It contains bioavailable means your body can absorb it. Okay, there are certain forms of supplements that you take. They are not bioavailable. They just get flushed out. They get absorbed, not even absorbed. They get uh, um, consumed by your body, but they're not digested. They're not, the nutrients aren't absorbed. They get flushed away. So bioavailability of DHEA. DHEA is a natural precursor hormone or steroid. Okay, it's produced by your adrenal glands. Okay, it is a precursor hormone your body uses to produce testosterone, estrogen, and other vital androgens. Now, estrogen is actually important for male and female, obviously, for females more. Um, for males, it does serve a purpose, but in the proper ratio. Okay, pine pollen supports liver health and sinews. A healthy liver function ensures flexibility, coordination, and tendons because the liver is connected in Chinese medicinal thinking or principles. The liver corresponds with your tendons, your sinews, things like that, your elasticity. So it affects pretty much all systems of the body, pine pollen. Okay? Lungs, your brain, your heart, your immune system, your skin. Pine pollen has a generous amount of a substance called MSM, okay, which is a sulfur, salt, used for joint pain and skin beautifying, if you will. Your bones and your endocrine, which is your hormonal system. The phytoandrogens help to counter the effects of estrogen mimicking substances that we are exposed to, like plastic bottles, food containers, body care products, cleaning products, etc. Right? In today's world, we are bombarded with hormonal disrupting chemicals. So pine pollen helps you a great deal. I have a lot of experience with pine pollen. I have been using it for quite some time. Now, the forms of how you take it, some people may ask. Generally, there are two. You can use the raw powder, put it in your smoothies, your shakes. Um, just take it as a, put it in your mouth to drink it down with water if you want. Or you can take it as a tincture extract, which gives you the most optimal levels of optimizing your testosterone, DHEA, things like that. Okay, I've mostly used it as a tincture because I'm a big fan of tinctures. Tinctures spoil very slowly, if at all. As I said, they preserve very well and they're very bioavailable, right? When you take the dosage under your tongue sublingually, 30 seconds to a minute, it's in your bloodstream. So it's very good. Very, very good. This is pine pollen. So technically, you can say it's not a herb, but you know what I mean when we're talking about herbs, natural substances, pine pollen. The pollen that you find in pine cones is harvested. And this is quite pricey, good quality pine pollen, but it is worth its weight, okay, dare I say, in gold. Okay, so that's number one. And this is not specifically, in order of importance. But I will add that pine pollen is one of the most potent on this list, if not the most potent. Okay, if I would have to choose, I would choose pine pollen. Number two, cordyceps. This is a mushroom. I love this. I've been using this for over 10 years. What is the martial relevance? We're dealing with martial artist application. It tonifies your kidneys. It nourishes your jing. If you missed a few moments ago, I mentioned jing as one of the three treasures of traditional Chinese medicine. Jing is your vital essence that you're born with, your primal energy. Some people are born with less, some people are born with more. You can technically develop it in small acute stages, but what you have with what you're when you're born is what you have for life for the most part. The other two treasures is qi and shen. Qi is breath, air, okay? And shen is your spirit. So these are the three concepts in traditional Chinese medicine. It supports your bone marrow, enhances stamina. Of course, with proper training, you need to train cardio or jump rope, run, whatever circuits. It will increase your stamina and your endurance. It protects against external pathogens, cold, so aiding in year-round outdoor training or just training round so sorry, or just year-round training with stress, right? When you train, that's a stress. You're at your job, that's a stress. Unexpected life event happens, that's stress. All contributing to the general stress of you putting in, diligent work to increase your martial ability. So that's two thumbs up. It increases your VO2 max oxygen utilization. VO2 max is the volume of oxygen your body can utilize. This I can say 100% works. If you are doing any kind of boxing rounds on the bag and you start taking cordyceps, you will notice within a week to two that you can increase your rounds and you feel better. You don't feel out of breath as you normally would. Okay? It boosts your ATP production. ATP, adenosine triphosphate. This is your energy currency in the body. This is what drives each cell. This is the driving force, the energy. So that's amazing, right? And oxygen absorption. It supports post-training cellular repair, reduces inflammation, restores chi and blood after intense training or sparring impact training. Okay? Very good herb. I can only recommend this as well. I take this in my coffee. I have a few drops of a tincture, dropperfuls, sorry. So that's 1 milliliter per dropper full dosage. I take about 3 milliliters. This thing really gets you flying. Okay, very good herb. I can only recommend this. Number three, Schisandra berry. Again, I have over 12 years experience with this herb. This herb is amazing for your health, your longevity. Okay, what is the martial relevance? Schisandra berry, known as the five flavor berry. Why? Because it has all five flavors. Okay, and as you should know, if you don't know, each flavor stimulates certain systems of the body. Okay, for example, when you take bitters, when you take a bitter herb like dandelions, burdock, gentian, right? These kind of herbs, this stimulates your bile, your liver, your digestive system. Okay, it benefits your gallbladder, right? Your spleen. Is known to detoxify and regenerate the liver and lungs, calms nervous system, great for eye fatigue, macular degeneration, night blindness, gives sharper eyesight. All thumbs up for martial artists and a person in general. Okay, but as I said, this video is geared towards the traditional martial artists. People ask me on my lives when I'm training, what is my diet from time to time? What do I take? How do I keep doing this? A big part of it is herbs. In traditional kung fu, whatever system you're from, your sifu should be well acquainted to well versed in herbology in some sense. Okay, he should be aware of kidney depletion. When you overstress the body, you work your day job, then you come and you train, you're depleting a lot of your kidney energy. You need to replenish that. So Schisandra berry is amazing, and it tastes actually very good. It strengthens your adrenals. The adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys. Okay, this is also very vital. It contains various minerals and vitamins such as your B1, 2, 3, vitamin C, calcium, phosphorus, chromium, iron, selenium, and zinc. This herb is one of the few that locks Jing and helps preserve it, which is amazing. So, whenever we're in a greatly stressful environment, and as I said, the stress can come from work, it can come from life events, and obviously from training. Whether you're running, hitting the bag, skipping rope, weightlifting, this is all stress. It doesn't matter. Your body interprets it as stress. It doesn't uh, 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 say, hey, this family member died. That's one kind of stress. Hey, I'm training. This is another kind of stress. No, it's just different levels of stress. It is all stress to the body. So if you can help preserve that jing, that vital essence from leaking, two thumbs up. This is one of the few herbs that actually does this. Okay. So it is essential for martial artists because it allows you to train longer and retain core vitality. Supports HPA function. HPA stands for hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal gland. This represents an axis which is your body's main stress response system, in turn helping balance cortisol. Okay, so these are all when your body gets a signal. Okay, you can look this up further. I'm not going to give a whole lecture. This is just a very brief understanding of the herbs. But HPA is very interesting when you look it up. Okay, the brain signals, hey, stress. Okay, and these glands, all three, hypothalamus, pituitary, and then adrenal, they have mechanisms to respond to that stress. Mostly adding more cortisol to your system, which is a big no-no. Cortisol is important. Everything plays its part, but an over amount of cortisol, as we know, can spike blood sugar and it has very detrimental effects on your body. Okay, so pretty much you're starting to see a pattern with these herbs: kidneys, adrenals, stress, right? Keeping you sharp, okay? Not keeping you depleted, preserving your jing. Number 4, one of my favorites. Again, I have experience with all of these herbs. Let me not give away the fifth. Deer antler velvet. I love deer antler velvet. It's a lot of controversy because this is one of the few herbs that actually went mainstream years ago. I believe if I remember the guy's name, he was a pro NFL player, Ray Allen or Ray Lewis, some one of those names. I don't know exactly which one, but you can type in on Google, pro NFL football player takes deer antler. Okay, he praised this herb, this substance, because it helped him, I believe, repair from an ACL or very serious ligament or tendon damage. Anyway, what is the martial relevance of deer antler velvet? Why is it called velvet, first of all? Because it's not just the deer antler they break apart. There's a velvety part on the deer antler that they chip off, right? They strip it off, and that's the precious powder that we get. It deeply nourishes the kidney jing and marrow, the source of vital strength and regeneration. It promotes muscle growth and bone healing. Now, check this, via it being rich in IGF-1 growth factors. That is a big deal. IGF-1 stands for insulin growth factor 1. Okay, you have IGF-1, IGF-2. IGF-1 is pretty much a youth elixir, if you will. This is what bodybuilders and certain people take: IGF and growth factors and growth hormone and all these different things to literally have an elixir of youth, repair on the dime, on the fly, feeling more energized, dealing with injuries much better. Okay, so collagen, right, and minerals, aiding in muscle regeneration, tendon repair. It is a strong yang tonic, meaning it fuels. Yang is of course strong. Yin is associated with soft and hard, right? Yang is hard. Fuels ambition and aggression and physical vigor. It is high in calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. Calcium and phosphorus are a big part of bone health, right? Actually, phosphorus, I would say even more, because calcium, contrary to popular belief, is not just a bones. Calcium is a nerve food as well. Phosphorus is a big part of bone health, teeth, bones, etc., right? Zinc, iron, copper, sulfur, a real powerhouse. Modern research has proven it increases red and white blood cells, meaning more oxygen, more power, stronger immunity, injury defense. 2 thumbs up. Okay, this is amazing. This is really, really amazing. Okay, so as I said, do your own research. Look up what is the latest research on these substances. Okay, don't take my word for it. Disclosure, this is not medical advice. This is not cures. I'm not giving a diagnosis. Okay, I am just giving out information for educational purposes. Do your own research. Okay, this is not medical advice. But these herbs contribute to centuries, if not millenniums, of real martial artists that have passed these methods down from generations to generations to generations until we have this information now. There's a reason why these herbs are regarded as powerhouses. Okay. And number 5, drum roll, Eucommia bark. Eucommia bark, martial relevance, bone and tendon strengthening, helps with lower back pain. Lower back pain, a lot of times people misinterpret that for muscle pain or tissue damage or something like that, or you twisted something, which can be a fact. But a lot of times, especially with martial artists, lower back pain means kidney damage. For example, you may not feel this when you're in your, late teens, early 20s, you're training, you're working, then you come home to train, then you go out to party, then you see a girl, and then the next day you do it over again. And there's no problem. When you get to your late 20s, 30s, of course your 40s, if you go to the gym and then you have your time with your wife after at home, you will have lower back pain. Why? Because you already depleted your kidney energy from training. Whenever you have any kind of intense training, as I was saying, the Jing is depleted. Jing is stored in your kidneys. Okay? So this herb specifically helps you with your kidneys. It helps with ligament damage and tendonitis. Okay, tendonitis, tendon, and itis means inflammation. Itis means inflammation. It strengthens your kidneys and liver, bone and tendon health, right? Kidneys are directly associated with bone health. Why? Because directly the kidneys are associated in traditional Chinese medicine with the marrow, the bone marrow. It is a famous herb for building tendon elasticity and tensile strength without making the body stiff. So you become like a very strong cable. Okay, it's very elastic, but it's not stiff. Okay, it speeds up healing of fractures, torn ligaments, and or tendons. Reduces chronic joint inflammation. 2 thumbs up. And again, as I stated before, the pine pollen, okay, let me zoom out now. The pine pollen, I recommend it to take in tincture form. All of these herbs, you can actually get a formula, okay? And you can take this in a formula base. Now, interestingly enough, I actually have raw Eucommia. This is how it looks like. And if I open it, which I'm not going to, but this actually already looks like a skeletal structure, okay? And when you look up online, you type in Eucommia, you'll see it's like it looks like your skeletal structure, okay, your bones. And when you pull this apart, when I break it apart, inside is like gooiness, like sinew, like your own sinews in your body. A lot of times herbs, they look like exactly what they help. Okay, so that's very interesting. But I've had experience with all 5 of these herbs. I won't say one is better than the other. What I will say is you can try them, and they come in formulas. If you live in Canada, I have an Instagram, and I actually sell a tincture formula with a super blend. Okay, you can go check that out. super blend of pine pollen, deer antler, cordyceps, eucommia, all these herbs combined. I mixed this formula. I made this maybe 2, 3 years ago, and yeah, it's rocket fuel. But as I said, pine pollen alone is amazing, and it's pricey, but it's worth it. If you mix pine pollen with deer antler, you have a very, very famous Chinese formula mixture. Those two herbs, they go together. Deer antler and pine pollen. They complement each other. As I said, if you're a martial artist, you're getting banged up, you're getting fractures, you may get fractures. I'm sorry, I'm not saying you will get fractures. You may get fractures. You will 100% get bruising, bone bruising, tissue bruising, inflammation. You're depleting your kidneys. You need to keep your liver intact, in optimal health, not just intact. You need to keep your kidneys, your heart, your liver, your lungs, your spleen, your pancreas. All these need to be in optimal shape for you to perform at your best, for you to live life after. Okay, these are very important substances. Okay, so that's my 5 top herbs and why I recommend them. What is the relevance for the martial artists with these herbs? There are many other herbs that I did not mention. Okay, but these are my 5 top herbs, which I take to this day. I take other things as well, ingredients, but I always have these 5 herbs because you cannot beat the kidney health, the liver health, the heart, the fact that it helps and supports your musculoskeletal system, your bones, your marrow, your tendons. Okay, so I'm reading the lives now. Mr. Tommy, how's it going? How's it going, bro? Good to see you. Healthy estrogen levels in men show signs of higher pain threshold. Exactly. Estrogen has a purpose in your body, but it has 2 different purposes for male and female, and there are 2 different ratios for male and female. So that's a great point. What role, Mr. Tien wrote, what role do epigenetic modifications, example DNA, methylation, histone acetylation, play in maintaining stemness and in enabling seasonal regrowth of antlers? Well, we're not dealing with very detailed information on the growth of deer antlers. What I can tell you is the main thing is you need to understand where you're sourcing the antlers from. And there are a few countries, maybe only a couple, that have some of the best reputable sources of deer antler velvet. Okay? There's a lot of knockoffs, which you have to be careful of as well. So please understand where you're actually getting these herbs from. Elijah said, what is this? This video is called The Top 5 Herbs for a Martial Artist. What if a martial artist takes trend steroids? Well, what can I say? I can't really say anything to that. If he does or he doesn't. If he does, there are consequences later on in life. What I can tell you is I just sourced 2 natural herbs that support your natural production of steroids. Your body makes these things. Your body makes IGF-1. Your body makes testosterone. Okay, you have herbs that optimize that, and technically, pine pollen is a natural source of testosterone. As I said, pine pollen mixed with deer antler velvet. That's IGF-1 with testosterone and DHEA, which is a precursor for your body to make more testosterone. Mr. That One Wrestler wrote, dangerous for your opponents as well, being on trend. So we want to be natural. We always want to be natural. There are natural substances and herbs that can help you expedite the process. They can help you become more optimized. And then you have your training, your skill training, your conditioning, your strength training. If you understand Qigong breathing, you can optimize your hormones as well. You can optimize your health as well. Okay? My testosterone is already high, Mr. Pluribus wrote. That's good. That's wonderful. These apply to people who they need to apply for. If you have a problem with low testosterone, here is an aid. If you're if you're training a lot, you're depleting a lot. Think of it that way. These herbs serve as a supplement in the very essence of the word supplement, because you are constantly leaking energy. You're leaking kidney zinc. Okay, you're leaking your body's resources, your minerals, your vitamins. You need to understand that, and you need to know how to replenish that, and pretty much, like I always say, optimize your body machine. Okay, so I hope everyone found that information insightful. Mr. Matthew wrote, very informative, thank you. I believe that I am low T. Well, you can get it, you can get tested. Of course, you can look up signs of low testosterone as well. Okay, low drive, low mood, right? Of course, low energy, hair loss. There's various signs of low T, low testosterone. Um, as I said, these herbs, you don't just take them. You need to know how to extract them. Um, when you take a tincture, there's various ratios of a tincture. For the deer antler, I would recommend, if you want that real IGF-1 factor, the helping you for muscle regrowth, trauma repair, any kind of injury repair, you want a herb for 1 to 2. Okay, a 1 to 2 ratio. Okay, meaning 1 part solvent, alcohol, 2 parts herb. Okay, that's a very strong extract. For pine pollen, you can have a 1 to 5. It doesn't need to be that strong. So again, it depends where you are, what your situation is. This is only informative, educational. So I hope that was informative for everybody. Today I'm in my clinic. I have my herbs. Okay, I actually have many herbs. I'm not just talking. I've been into herbs for many years, and it complemented my martial arts skills. Here are all my tinctures. Some of these are 4, 5 years sitting. Okay. So this is what I make. These are things that I use that really help me. Okay, and they can help you. So I'm just sharing some of my information today, and hopefully I'll be making more videos like this. Any kind of ideas or questions or anything people want to know, okay, hit me up. Comment, like, subscribe, share. Thank you very much for today. I hope everyone has a great day. Take care.